Welcome back to DBL. Yasir Said was on the run for a decade after allegedly killing his own daughters. But the massive manhunt has finally come to an end, the latest in DBL's True Crime Chronicles.
Yasir Said was living in Texas, working as a taxi driver. Those who knew him say he was very close to his daughters, Amina and Sarah.
This is illegal. Do I videotape you when you're sleeping?
These exclusive home videotapes obtained from WFAA paint a picture of just how protective Yasir was.
She smiled to the customers.
Bubba, she has to. Part of her job.
She's in trouble.
When the girls were younger, they told police their father was sexually abusing them.
No! No! Get away! No!
In December 2007, the girls and their mom escaped to Oklahoma, but it didn't last long. Yasir pressured the family to return home. A few days later, Yasir took the girls to dinner. He drove them in a cab to the Omni Hotel in Irving, where he allegedly shot them multiple times.
What's going on, man?
I'm dying, that's what's up.
Sarah, the youngest daughter, was shot 9 times, but still managed to call 911 and name her father as the killer. Amina was shot twice in the chest.
You hear her last breath. She was fighting till the very end.
Yasir took off, leaving his daughters to die. Detectives believe it was an honor killing and that Yasir didn't want the girls dating outside the Muslim faith.
I think that frustrated him, and he couldn't handle that, and I think that's why he ultimately decided to kill them.
Yasir fled and was placed on the FBI's 10 most wanted fugitives list.
Him being at large 1 year, 2 years, a decade, it was difficult.
And then, 13 years later, after thousands of tips and leads,
the FBI SWAT team arrested Yasir Abdul Said in Justin, Texas without incident.
Yasir's son and brother were helping hide him.
Our most significant priority now, though, is the prosecution for the capital murder of his daughters.
The FBI thinks more people were protecting Yasir, and it's not a closed case. In the meantime, it's a big win for the girls.
Amina and Sarah are finally going to have justice.
And earlier, Tori and Al spoke with a reporter in Dallas who covered this case. Take a look.
We are joined by investigative reporter Tanya Eiserer from WFAA in Dallas, Texas. Thank you so much for joining us. We know Yasir's brother and son were helping hide him, but who actually spotted him and how was he caught?
Well, according to the court documents, federal agents have actually had his family under surveillance for years. Back in 2017, a maintenance worker actually spotted Yasir Said at an apartment rented by his son. He managed to get away, but DNA showed it was in fact Yasir Said. And then here more recently, federal authorities had a house under surveillance. It was a house that had been purchased by a relative of Yasir Said, and that is ultimately what led to his capture. It really is shocking that he would remain in this area, given that he was on the guy's most wanted list.
Yeah.
That's hiding in plain sight, I guess you would call it. Now, family and friends have described Yasir as being upset that his girls were being too westernized. Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah, that really, in fact, might be an understatement. I spoke to relatives and friends back at the time, shortly after the killings, and they, by all accounts, described how angry he was, the threats he had made. In fact, his wife, the girls, and their boyfriends had actually fled the state. They had gone to Oklahoma, and then for whatever inexplicable reason, a reason that I will never understood, Patricia Said returned with the girls, and then within hours they were dead.
I was just going to say, I don't know why she went back. Anyway, what can we expect next in this case? Has a trial date been set?
No, it's really too early in the process. He's currently in the Dallas County Jail. He's held without bond. Now, he could get the death penalty. Prosecutors have not announced yet what they will do, but it will be very interesting to see whether or not they seek the death penalty in this case.
Wow, that would be fascinating. I'm following. Thank you so much for keeping us up to date on this, Tanya. To learn more about this case, if you're interested, I find it fascinating. You can visit WFAA.com, and you can listen to the new podcast episode out now. Just search Capturing Yasir Said on your favorite podcast player. Again, Tanya, fantastic work. Thank you so much. We'll be right back.
Thanks.